Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm going to be ranking the first 12 vehicles that got released into Grand Theft Auto Online with the Chop Shop DLC on December 12th, 2023. Now we got some pretty good vehicles, we got some pretty trash vehicles, we got some mildly okay vehicles. Generally, I would say that we got a good batch, and we have some more good ones to come. I just dropped a video talking about the drip feed cars that are yet to be released into Grand Theft Auto Online, so go check that out after this video if you're interested. But let's go ahead and start off this ranking with number 12. At number 12, we have the Police Riot, and this thing is a scam, boys. This is a super scam. Now, it says on the website that you can customize this or store it, and that is just not true. It is a Pegasus vehicle, and it goes for $4,800,000 without the trade price, and with the trade price, it's $3,600,000. This is a scam. Do not buy the Police Riot. It is a complete joke. In fact, you can go and get a guaranteed Police Riot without getting cops if you go to the Sandy Shores police station. There's always a police riot sitting out there. You can just go and hop in it. It's well worth saving the $4.8 or the $3.6 million to just simply go up to Sandy Shores and steal this thing. You can also find them at police stations as well. So just be on the lookout for these things if you want one. Please do not waste your money on them though. It's just a complete joke. Moving on to number 11, we have the Declassy Impaler LX coming in at $1,465,000. Now, I know that the guys that love the Impaler LX and the Impala or whatever you've been telling me about in my comments and roasting me about, I know you guys love this thing. At the end of the day, it's overpriced and it looks like quite a few other cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Overall, I feel like this one just could have been avoided to be added. I would have rather had an Aventador, a G-Wagon, a Dodge Durango Hellcat, a Dodge Trackhawk. The list is pretty much infinite of the vehicles I would have rather had. With that being said, I don't think it's the most horrible vehicle. It actually drives pretty well. The customization is pretty lacking though, to be completely honest. And for $1,465,000, you could definitely spend your money a lot better than on the Declassy Impaler LX. So for those reasons, it is at number 11. That's the official ranking. I'm right, you're wrong if you disagree. Let's move on to number 10. And at number 10, we have the Declassy Vigoro ZX convertible coming in at $2,295,000. Now, the Vigoro ZX convertible, the reason that I've ranked it so low on this list is because I don't feel like it is a vehicle that we needed in GTA Online. I don't feel like it's a vehicle that anyone really wanted. We already have the Vigoro ZX, and the convertible version is just not as good looking, and I don't think it performs as well. And when you take the soft top convertible down, it has this ugly Dorito triangle little window that sticks up in the back, looks so horribly ugly and is very broken. Hopefully Rockstar fixes this. If they do, I would consider moving the Declassy Vigoro ZX to spot number 9 and switching it with the car that it is at number 9. But for 2.3 mil, a whole $350,000 more than the regular Vigoro, I do not feel like this car is worth your money, and I feel like it is one of the worst cars from this DLC. So for that reason, it's a number 10. Let's move on to number 9. Now at number 9, we have the Karen Vivanite coming in at $1,605,000. Now this is based off of a Toyota Sienna in real life, and it is a minivan for sure. The customization is a little bit lacking. I feel like they could have definitely got a little crazier with what you could do to this thing. It's also a hybrid, so it's an EV up to about 40 or 50 miles per hour, and then the engine will kick in. It's not that quick. However, it does have an HSW upgrade, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, I feel like this is just a car that not really many people wanted. I know I've seen some people in the comments saying that they like it and everything like that. I like it too. I think it's kind of cool, but at the same time, there's definitely a long list of vehicles that I think the community would have rather had over a Toyota Sienna minivan. Overall, it's an okay vehicle. With HSW, I'm sure it's a lot better. That's really all I have to say about the Karen Vivanite. Let's move on to number 8. And at number 8, we have the Vapid Stanier Unmarked Cruiser. Now, this is super overpriced, but it is really cool. Come on, guys. It's a cop car. We've been asking for these for 10 years, man. So this thing goes for $2,962,500 if you have the trade price, and $3,950,000 if you do not have the trade price. In order to unlock this thing, you have to have a 3-star for 5 minutes and then escape it. So it's pretty easy to unlock it. and it's a decent vehicle. It actually has a tiny bit of customization. You can change the bull bar on the front of it, but for the most part, it's just a unmarked police car, which I think is cool enough in itself. Of course, the sirens and everything are functional. It does come with a cop horn. I think it's a very cool vehicle. Yes, extremely overpriced, don't get me wrong, but I think it is deserving of spot number 8. With that being said, let's move on to number 7. At number 7, we have the Car Addict GZ, the cheapest car that we've had added into Grand Theft Auto Online in a very long time, coming in at $459,000. It doesn't even start with a 1 million and then something. It's super cheap, and it's deservingly cheap. It is based off of a Toyota Camry, and unfortunately the customization for this thing was kind of not there. I was expecting a lot more out of it, but there were only a few different bumper options, a few different hood options, spoiler options, and things like that. I was pretty disappointed. The liveries were definitely a highlight, as with most of the vehicles from this DLC, but overall I feel like this car could have been a lot better. I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity here. Overall, for $459K, I think it's actually pretty cool, but it is a little too expensive at the same time, despite that it is one of the cheapest cars we've had added into Grand Theft Auto Online in probably the last 5 years. It's cool in its own way, but it's also kind of underwhelming in another way. Overall, it's kind of one of those cars you can take it or leave it. At number 6, we have the Vapid Stanier LE Cruiser, coming in at $3,517,500 with the trade price, and $4.69 million without the trade price, so even more expensive than the unmarked cruiser. However, this one is really cool because you can select about 20 different police departments with this thing. You can be like a Blaine County Sheriff, you can go LSPD, you can go Paleto Bay PD, you can go Grapeseed PD. Like, there's so much you can do. On top of it, there's also a bunch of different levels of police equipment that you can equip onto the car. You can change the lights on the car as well, and you can switch up the bull bars, and you can change the color of it as well. Overall, I feel like this is the best police car that we've had added in on day one, at least. I think it's really cool, and I think it is something that you guys should look into, especially if you're looking for a police car in Grand Theft Auto Online. I think the extra money that you're going to spend on this one over the unmarked cruiser is very much worth it, just simply because of the different levels of customization that it has. Overall, very cool vehicle. I know I'm going to be whipping this thing a lot. It's awesome. Let's move on to number 5. And at number 5, we have the Fathom FR36, coming in at $1,610,000. This is a G35 Infinity, which is very cool. I drive a G37 in real life, so I'm naturally kind of a fan of this thing. It does have some pretty authentic G35 modifications that you can do, from some very ugly grille options to some very over-the-top bumper options. I think it's very cool. The customization of this car was pretty much perfectly executed by Rockstar. I think they did a great job. This car also has the new drift modification tuning that you can put on it. It is the only new vehicle that has that, so that gives it some bonus points. You can drift this thing around, and it's actually a really good time. It's a lot of fun. It's grown on me a lot. I wasn't super happy with it at first, but now after I've drifted quite a bit, I do think that it is actually super fun, and it is very worth doing. That drift modification is going to cost you $200K, but it is well worth it, in my opinion, at least. Next up at number 4, we have the Vapid Dominator GT, coming in at $2,195,000. One of the coolest vehicles added with this DLC. Unfortunately, it is a convertible instead of a coupe, which is super unfortunate because I would have much rather seen a hardtop coupe, and I think that most of the community would as well. The convertible on this thing does actually work pretty well, though, in comparison to the Vigoro ZX convertible, so that is a welcome addition. It's also $100,000 cheaper than the Vigoro ZX. Overall, I think it is a much better car. The customization also is way better on the Dominator GT, in my opinion. I love some of the customization options that you can do on this vehicle. I think it's super worth picking up, and it is definitely one of the vehicles that I would recommend from this DLC. Next up at number 3, we have the Grotti Turismo Omaggio, coming in at $2,845,000. This is a new supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online, and it is very quick. The handling is super great on it. It's quite quick in a straight line. It's rear-wheel drive, but despite this, it gets a very good launch. I think it looks great, and the customization options that you can put on this thing are absolutely phenomenal. On top of this, it also has a missile lock-on jammer. Unfortunately, no other special Imani Tech options like the armor plating on the sides or the oil slick proximity mine dropper. It is simply just the missile lock-on jammer, but I will take it rather than leave it, that's for sure. For $2,845,000, I don't think you can go wrong with this car. It's absolutely phenomenal. Definitely look into getting this one if you don't have it already somehow. At number 2, we have the Vapid Illusion coming in at $1,835,000. This is the only full-blown Imani Tech car that we got in the game. With this DLC, it does of course have the armor plating upgrade on the side of it, as well as the missile lock-on jammer and the oil slick proximity mine dropper. Unfortunately, no bullet resistant windows with it, so that does kind of suck. It can take 4 RPGs. It's also quite quick. It's not too bad. It is all-wheel drive. It is pretty good off-road. I feel like the customization could have been a tiny bit better with it, but I will take it for sure. And for under $2 million, getting an Imani Tech capable vehicle is a pretty good deal in my opinion. And of course, at number 1, you're probably thinking, what other vehicle got added into the game? Well, of course, it's the tow truck from the salvage yard. This is the only vehicle out of all of these that can actually make you money, and it goes from $650,000 for the beater tow truck to $1.1 million for the clean, brand new tow truck in your salvage yard. Now, with the tow truck, you can actually make money. You can go and repo vehicles, and these will pay you between $30,000 to $50,000 for delivering them to your salvage yard after 48 minutes, and they've been dismantled by your staff member, or an hour and 36 minutes if you do not have a staff member. Now, on top of this, depending on how many vehicles you brought back to your chop shop, your passive safe income will also increase. For every vehicle that you bring back, you'll get an additional $1,000 every 48 minutes deposited into your wall safe, which is pretty cool. So for that reason, I think the tow truck is the best vehicle from this DLC. Now, if you don't really want to count the tow truck, because you technically can't take it out and just drive it around, you have to do missions with it, I would definitely consider the Vapid Illusion as the best vehicle from the DLC. But the tow truck, in my opinion, is a vehicle, and it definitely is from this DLC, so it is deserving of the number 1 spot. Thank you so much for watching my ranking of the first 12 Chop Shop DLC vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. I'm trying to get to 200,000 subscribers before January 2024, so if you want to help me out by subscribing to the channel, that would be very much appreciated. You can let me know in the comments section down below that my ranking is 100% correct and that I am the greatest ranker in all of Grand Theft Auto Online, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.